All right, welcome. Today we are doing proportions, day one notes. So the top part of this note sheet has a statement. So you're going to fill in the blank with proportions. So the proportion is a statement that two ratios or rates are equal. So a ratio or rate can look like this. Either it can be like 3/2 with a fraction bar, or we can have 3:2. So either way, those are both ways to write ratios or rates. So these are solved by cross multiplication. I'm going to show you an example. So say, for example, I have 2/5 equals some number x over 10. So the key part here for this proportion is that there's an equal sign. So in this definition, it also tells you that they need to be equal. So you're going to solve this by cross multiplication. If you look at this example here, we have 8 times n. I'm going to circle the diagonals. 8 times n is going to go on one side of the equal sign, and then 3 times 4 is going to go on the other side. So please change the 72 to a 24. Okay, so then you're going to multiply both of those. You get 8n equals 72. You can see, okay, divide both sides by the number in front of n, and you're going to get your answer. So that was a brief overview. Now I'm going to show you a couple examples down below. Okay, so number one, let's draw our diagonals. So I have 4 times x. Then circle the other diagonal. I'll have 8 times 9. Okay, so I'm going to multiply these out. So I have 4x equals 72. Then you need to divide by the number in front of x. All right, so when we divide 72 by 4, you might need your calculators for this one. There's some decimals and stuff coming up as well. You should get x equals 14. Okay, so that's a basic proportion example. Now I'm going to show you number 3. It looks a little different. We've seen problems like this before, and we've cleared the fraction, we found least common multiples, all kinds of crazy things. Now I'll show you an easier way to do this one. So this letter H is just hanging out in the middle, like right between this fraction bar. So the H needs to go with the top number, because this H technically could be written H over 1. We can do that with any, whole number or letter. So this would be the numerator, and then 1 would be denominator. So H needs to go on the top. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to have H on top, 108 on the bottom, and then 7 and 18 on the other side. So again, I'm going to draw my diagonal circle. So I have 108 times 7. My other circle is 18 times H. Then you're going to go ahead and multiply all of this out. So you're going to get 756 and then equals 18H. Divide then by the 18 in front of H. So you should get what? H is equal to 42. Okay, so let's just recap what we're solving for here. This 42, I'm going to plug in just up at the top where I wrote my H over 108. So I have 42 over 108, and this is supposedly equal to 7 over 18. So if we look at these fractions, what I need to multiply 18 by a number to get 108 and multiply by that same number to get 42. Just a quick check here. I can do 18 and then times 6 equals 108. Then 7 times 6 also gives me 42. That means, okay, this fraction on the right and the fraction on the left are equal. They're just multiples of each other. That's the whole point of this proportion. We're just trying to find this missing number to make the two fractions equal. All right, I'm going to do number 5 down below. So there's a y in the denominator, which normally would, oh dear, normally would make us panic. We're not going to panic this time. So let me fix this. Okay, number 5. I'm still going to do cross multiplication. So I have now 15 times 2y. And the other side, I have 21 times 20. So I'll just multiply them out like normal. So I have 30y is equal to 420. Then divide by the number in front of y. All right, so 420 divided by 30 to give you y equals 14. Great. All right, number 6 here, we have a decimal, but that's still the same process. I'll run through this one. I have 1.6 times 3v. And then my other circle is equal to 4 times 9. So I should get 4.8v is equal to 36. And then I need to divide by the number in front of my variable. So divide by 4.8. So v equals 36 divided by 4.8. That looks very strange because we don't like decimals within a fraction right here. So let's actually divide that out in our calculator. So do 36 divided by 4.8. That gives you 7.5. And that's a much nicer answer. So normally we say, oh, we like fractions better. But in this case, this decimal is nicer than the fraction. Okay, then down below we have a word problem example. Okay, so the Big Town football team outscored its opponents 5-2 last season. If their opponents scored 38 points, how many points did Big Town score? So first you need to figure out what are the two things that we're talking about. First thing is the Big Town football team. All right, second one is the opponents. We don't know their names, but that's fine. So then they give us this ratio, the 5-2. So the first number in the ratio, the 5, goes with the first team they talked about. Then the 2, the second number, goes with the second team they talked about. So I'm going to show you my setup. I'm going to draw my fraction bar. Then I'm going to write the Big Town football team on top and my opponents on the bottom. Then I'm going to draw the right half of my proportion setup. And the top still needs to match the other side. So see how both tops are Big Town, so both bottoms need to be opponents. And then I'm going to fill in my numbers that they give us. So this 5 went with Big Town. The 2 points went with opponents. Then we're going to keep watching the rest, or keep reading the rest of the problem. And we have this 38 here that goes with opponents. So plug in their 38. Now I'm solving for how many points did Big Town score. I'm going to put an X there. Now I cross multiply. I have 5 times 38 equals 2 times X. I multiply and I get what? 190 is equal to 2X. Divide both sides by 2. So X equals 90. And then you have to label your answer. So 90 goes where X is, which is points. And then for Big Town. All right. Then the last question here, it says in the fields around Hampshire High School, there are a lot of small rodents. There also happen to be a lot of snakes that feed on the rodents. The ratio of rodents to rodent-eating snakes is 13-3. And then if there's 4,000 snakes, how many rodents are there? Yikes. So this data is from Mr. Wozniak. He went out and counted the 4,000 snakes. So just ask him if you're worried about that. So first I see, okay, I'm talking about some rodents and some snakes. So the 13 goes with the rodents. The 3 goes with the snakes. Let me show you my setup. So rodents are on top, snakes are on the bottom. So what? I have 13 rodents for every 3 snakes. All right, and then this side needs to match the left side. So Mr. Wozniak counted that there's 4,000 snakes. Yikes. And we are trying to figure out how many rodents there are. So go ahead and cross multiply. So 3 times x equal to 13 times 4,000. So I have 3x equals 52,000. So x is equal to 17,333.3. So I'm hoping we don't have 0.3 of a rodent. That doesn't seem possible. So the question asks about how many rodents are there. Let's just leave it as 17,333 rodents then. We have a nice whole number. All right, now we're done with proportions, day 1.